Once upon a time, there lived a woman named Amira. Amira was a beauty that was said to rival that of the most radiant flower in the garden, with eyes like pools of liquid and hair that cascaded like golden silk. She was the envy of all those who beheld her, and many a suitor sought her hand in marriage. But beneath her stunning exterior laid a heart filled with longing and desire, a heart that yearned for love and acceptance in the world that judged her solely by her beauty. And so, when an old man came to her with promises of affection and devotion, Amira eagerly embraced his advances, unaware of the darkness that lurked beneath his charming facade. In time, Amira found herself with a child, a precious gift of love that filled her heart with joy and anticipation. But when the truth of her affair came to light, the villagers recoiled in horror and disgust, casting her out of the midst and banishing her far away to the another land, where she sought refuge in the home of the old man's friend. Unbeknown to Amira, the two men had conspired to get rid themselves of the evidence of their indiscretion, concocting a plan to force her to take a potion that would end her unborn child's life before it ever had a chance to draw breath. But Amira, with her sharp wit and silver tongue, managed to persuade the old man's friend to spare her child's life. He accepted, but with a condition. She had to agree to give her child away once it was born, never to lay eyes on him again. As months passed and the day of reckoning drew near, Amira's heart swelled with both anticipation and trepidation, her thoughts consumed by the fate that awaited with her unborn child. And when the time came for her to bring new life into the world, she prayed with all her heart that her child would be delivered safely into her arms, a beacon of hope in the darkness of her despair. But fate seemed to have other plans, and as the cries of labor echoed through the stillness of the night, a sense of foreboding filled the air. For when the midwife emerged from the birthing chamber, her face drawn and pale, she bore the news that would shatter Amina's world into a million Jenga pieces. Her child, her precious baby, was no more. In that moment of unspeakable loss, Amira's heart broke into two, her soul consumed by grief and despair. For though she had been cast out and forsaken by those who should have shown her love and compassion, she had clung to the hope that her child would be her salvation, a light to guide her through the darkness of her exile. But now, as she gazed upon the lifeless form of her newborn child, all she felt was emptiness, so profound it threatened to swallow her whole. And as she wept bitterly tears of sorrow and regret, she knew that she would carry the weight of her loss with her for the rest of her days, a burden too heavy to bear all alone. With no choice left, Amina returned to her village, rebuilding her life through farming and tending to her cows. However, as far as she reached in her 40s, she realized she needed help on her farm, and so she employed Kofi, a young and strong man. Concerned about her future care, Amira contemplated in finding a suitor despite the societal expectations. She recognized the challenge to finding a partner at her age and decided to take matters in her own hands. One day, after a successful maize harvest, Amira felt jubilant and decided to celebrate and preparing a delicious meal. Despite her uncertainties, she embraced the joy of the moment, hopeful for a companionship and love in her future. That night, as the warm glow of the setting sun cast long shadows across the landscape, Amira extended an invitation to Kofi, her worker, to share in the joy of their bountiful harvest. With a hearty meal spread out before them and their glasses filled with sweet palm wine, they laughed and talked long into the night. Their spirits boiled into the camaraderie and shared company. As the stars twinkled overhead and the fire crackled merrily, Amira found herself unable to shake the thought of Kofi from her mind. He is handsome and hardworking, she mused to herself. Why not marry him? It was a daring thought, one that filled her with mixture of excitement and apprehension. But deep down, she knew that it was risk worthy to take. The next evening, when her heart pounding in her chest, Amira gathered her courage and confessed her feelings to Kofi. To her surprise and delight, he returned her affections wholeheartedly, his eyes sparkling with warmth and affection as he declared his love for her. And so, with the blessing of their newfound love, Amira and Kofi embarked a journey together, their hearts intertwined and in bond that seemed unbreakable. They shared their hopes and dreams, their fears and insecurities, building a life together filled with laughter and love. But their happiness was not to last, for as whispers of their unconventional union spread throughout the village, tongues wagged and fingers pointed in disapproval. The villagers could not understand how a young man like Kofi could choose to marry a woman so much older than himself, and they sought to uncover the truth behind their union. Driven by curiosity and sense of righteous indignation, they delved into Kofi's past, scouring the village for clues about his parentage and upbringing. They questioned his relatives and friends, hoping to uncover any skeletons hidden in his family's closet. But the efforts were in vain, for Kofi's parents were nowhere to be found, their absence shrouded in mystery and speculation. And as the villagers grappled with their uncertainty for his origins, they could not help but wonder what secrets lay buried beneath the surface that seemingly idyllic community. Amira and Kofi continued to spend time together, their bond deepening with each passing day. Amira couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled over her. It was during one quiet evening as they sat by the side, beneath the blanket of stars, that she noticed something peculiar. A dark mark on Kofi's hand, very similar to that of her own. The sight sent a shiver down Amira's spine, her mind racing with fury of unsettling thoughts. Could this be a mere coincidence, or was there something more sinister at play? Could Kofi be her long-lost son, stolen from her at birth and raised by someone else?